Hi everyone! On February 12th, 2004, I was introduced on television through the longest running game show The Price is Right, and as of tomorrow, September 4th, 2015, will be 43 years that the show has been on, and the show is currently going to be starting its 44th year. What I'm going to show with you is not only my time on The Price is Right, but within the episode that I was on, I'm going to share with you a couple things about some contestants, what was going on, as well as what happened, all that good stuff. So let's begin, shall we?
Our next contestant is Margarita Simon.
Now, Margarita was chosen just before I was. The reason I point her out was because of the fact that she was from a place called Samoa. And if you don't know what Samoa has to do with The Price is Right, in the past, many people from Samoa picked up Bob Barker, threw him across the stage. And she was a nice, gentle girl. The reason I know that is because she was with me in line, just like everyone was in line, seeing each other for like about 4 hours. And I found that she was a very nice woman. Everyone here was very good. Carol, the girl in the red, and the girl next to her, and Joseph, who is actually going to be the one to win his way up next. He ended up being with a group.
You are a Samoan? Oh. You know the story on Samoans.
Yes, I do, Bob.
Had Samoan women throw me all over the stage.
And she says, I won't. They say that, and they promise him, and they end up winning them up on stage, and they do.
On this stage, you are not going to do me bodily harm, are you?
You say you will, but you actually won't. You will actually hurt him in some way.
Old and frail now. You get the first bid on that prize.
Now, she didn't really see the prize. Now, here's what happens. It says that once you start bidding, they take away the prize, then they get set up. Because as mentioned many times in the past, it was a fast-moving show. And she bids $9.75. Yep.
$9.75. Very well.
Now, as I was saying, Carol is down there, and I was with Joseph, talked to Joseph every little bit.
The actual retail price is $11.98 in the winning.
And then Joseph, like I said, is going to win his way up on stage. He ended up playing for a trip to Japan. And there's something I really liked about when they're showing off the trip to Japan. It was like some karate or some martial arts movement. I will let you see for yourself.
I would love to give you that. A fantastic trip to Japan. You and a guest will fly round trip coach from Los Angeles to Tokyo aboard Air.
Well, interesting enough, back in 2009, a friend of mine, Bonnie Gordon, who I used to work with at Disney at the Backlot Tour, I got her on, and she won in the showcase a trip to Peru and a trip to Key West. Now, you have 2 years from when you win it to go on it.
They may have missed that movement. Let's see that again. These ladies choke. Yeah. They're tough.
And so Joseph, who, by the way, who wins this trip, he actually won it. He has 2 years from then to do it. So basically, he had to take it by 2006. So I'm hoping that he did. But again, I have never spoken to these people in the longest time, especially since the show was first aired. So, and Bob is saying you can't restart it for 37 hours. Now that is a joke. The reasons they can't start it for quite a period of time is because it takes them a long period of time just to get it back going like we see it here. Now I was doing with the audience by saying go, 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 go. And his friends are out there. They're with his friends. And if you have a group of 10 or more, you are guaranteed to get into the show. Someone out of that group is guaranteed to get picked. And sitting in the audience, I was with his friends telling him to stop it. But like I said, he won it. And usually, someone doesn't go. But they said It was edited out, but someone said that they actually studied travel, and that's how they knew the price of a trip to Japan. And back then it was $4,000. Now, here is where I come in. Now, by the way, you don't know until that very moment when your name is called that you are chosen. So everyone is surprised just at the same time as you are. So everyone in there is hoping to get picked. Now, I saw Bob, and here was the clock, and I was saying in my head, how much would I bet on that? And I was just completely speechless. I was collecting my thoughts. And then I looked at some girl for help, and she was saying $400, and that's too low on this show. And then someone said like $750, and I agreed with him because I found that was just a reasonable amount. But $750 came into my mind. And Bob thought that I was looking for him for help when I really wasn't.
What makes you think that he knows any more about the price than you do?
Because I watch every single day. I've been watching you all my life.
Well, he hasn't been in that chair every single day.
I wasn't looking at him for help, Bob, but he just said something. That was it.
$450.
$450, Suzanne.
$700.
$700. Oh.
And I didn't know this was going to happen. My head was down. I said, oh my gosh, this could actually be me. Oh my gosh.
Has exactly the right bid. Every contestant will be turning to Ezekiel down here from now on.
What if it was really me? And it is. And I couldn't believe it. And I was going, oh my gosh. Hi, Bob. I was in the state of shock. By the way, I was about to lose my pants when that occurred.
$500. This is for you, Ezekiel.
No, I worked hard for that money, Bob. Don't play jokes with me.
Ezekiel, this what? No.
My left foot was shaking.
I've been watching.
And I said this. Some of the speech was edited out.
My 21st birthday with you. I've been watching ever since I was 2 years
Who's
old.
old? Evan, guys.
I just graduated high school 2 years ago.
And I've been taping the show ever since I was in 8th grade. Now, I also, wherever I went before I started taping the show, whenever I was and I can watch The Price is Right, I would actually turn it on. My parents own a bowling alley / bar. When I was there, I would actually turn it on and would not miss a second of it. Because I actually studied. I noticed everything. Like many other people that use the internet who watch game shows, they notice this. But I actually memorized it off the top of my head, unlike some other people do. Now there is the car. I couldn't believe I was winning car. I knew it was a car. I knew the car was coming. Because within the first set of 3 games, as well as the second set of three games, a car is offered in each set. So I knew when this game actually debuted after September 11th, and I watched when it was actually introduced. So now I'm not good with grocery items, and I was just looking for audience for help, and I actually tested their reaction to see what they believe it was, because Bob doesn't know, or nowadays Drew doesn't know what the prices are to any of the prizes or to the grocery items, so he plays along with them. So
he says the icy hot patch is $360. Is he right?
now I got that right. Now I already was given a free number to pick off the board, but I also got a second number.
Another number. Now let's have 2 more products out here, please.
Now we were in the audience, my mom and I, and my sister, who used to live in San Diego back then. We were in the audience and we saw the gold bond on that show, but I wasn't paying much attention because I was paying much attention to my surroundings, because I'm fascinated by the scoreboard displays like you see here and the actual props themselves. I'm just fascinated about how they work. So of course I'm wrong. I should have been paying attention, but like I said, sometimes, not always, some people cannot think. And I had one of those brain fart moments.
You two numbers. Now step over here. We have $1,000, we have $3,000, we have $5,000, and we have the car on the board, and of course we have the two.
Lose everything.
Lose everything.
By the way, the car was behind number 6. $1,000 was behind the 4. The number 2, of course, had the 3.
$3,000.
And then 5 had the $5,000. And 1 had to lose everything, and 3 had to lose everything.
I don't know. How much have we got invested in this?
How much money do you have invested in this thing? I really don't know.
A lot of money. All right.
By the way, a close friend of my family framed this. And
Now,
a lot of money. How much would you say this is without the framework?
$1,000 and cease and desist.
Oh, well.
Or do you want to go ahead and risk losing it and drive for the car?
Now, I promised myself if I had this kind of situation of a game, I would go for the car or for whatever. But this time I actually had $3,000, so it felt differently. Because the other times, like Bob has mentioned, because you want him to go because I have $3,000 and they don't. But everyone in the audience felt for me as well. Now, Bob didn't know I was really autistic.
See at the big wheel. Almost immediately after this match.
Yeah, he did not even know I was autistic. I never explained to him at all throughout the episode that I was autistic. So that's it. Now let's see the big wheel now. Here we are spinning the big wheel. Now the big wheel does look like it's easy to spin, but in reality it's very heavy. I didn't think I would get it all the way around. Now the one of us nearest to $1 without going over will be in the showcase. And I made it to the showcase.
You have 75 cents.
Now there's more than what happened.
Got our old number 2 here.
I gave it a big spin. The handles on the wheel are like door pull handles. And I thought I would get $1 so it's coming very close to it, but I ended up getting 80 cents.
Down, up. Oh, 80 cents more.
And Bob really likes me. I touched the thing. I made Bob laugh. The thing is made out of plastic.
50 to 80 cents to get into the showcase.
And he got it all the way around. And Joseph, I don't know what happened to any of these people. I
And
haven't seen them since I was there.
you have 65.
Okay, 65. Spin it again.
Again, Joseph.
And of course he doesn't get it, so he got the showcase. Now, when I made it in the showcase, the whole audience like went wild. I went wild, you'll see in just a minute. I could not believe it. And I was in the state of shock again.
You are going to be in the showcase.
There I go.
So, John, if you'd like to be in our audience, it can be arranged, and it are.
In other words, it can be just like me with Drew. And during this plug, I was jumping around happy, going, oh my gosh, I actually made it. Bob liked me a lot. But I did not want to hurt Bob because I care about everyone, as you know, like a human being. And now it's showcase time. And the person who I was going up against was Carol. And Carol won a bedroom suite in Cliffhangers, aka the Yodeler game. And this is what Bob had to say about me right now.
In the showcase today, a young man who knows everything there is to know about The Price is Right, John.
Now, I wasn't expecting him to say that, but during the commercial, he goes out and answers people's questions in the audience. And one question that was asked was, when did the show first start? And I shouted out September 4th, 1972. Bob or no one didn't really know off the top of their head at the very moment. And when I said the date, Bob looked at me and said, that's my boy, he knows everything. And the other thing is about it, again, I did not win the showcase, but Carol deserved to win because she was moving into a new place just after when the show was taped.
Let us proceed with showcase number 1.
And this showcase would have been my showcase, where we see a dining room set.
Dining room.
And I'll never forget who makes this, Hooker Furniture.
Saddle Creek collection, this 19
And as I see the showcases, I always think about how much each individual prize is as it comes up. So this would have been $500-$600.
Microwave oven and dishwasher safe and features 5 different colors that together
But of course, I didn't want to be over.
create a rainbow effect.
And this is the item that I almost forgot.
This new upright piano.
And it was the piano. And I was deep in thought, as you saw. And Young Chang is a manufacturer that's been on the show many times. And so I can't believe I forgot that. Yeah. And then here's the hot tub. Now, what would I do with all these prizes? People do ask, can you exchange them for money? The answer to that is no. It's either take what they give you or don't have it at all. But what I could have done was sell this and that on eBay or Craigslist or something like that. And, well, I asked Bob, what is the manufacturer of the dining room set?
You're going to pass to John.
Okay, I have a quick question, if I may, Bob. What is the make of
Now I feel this is really strange I'm asking that question.
I didn't catch it, I'm sorry.
The manufacturer of the dining room furniture.
Yeah.
Do you have the name, Art? Yes, Bob. That's Hooker Furniture.
Yes.
Okay, $14,000 even.
I didn't want to hold things up, so I bid $14,000.
Carol, this is your showcase. Your showcase is filled with prizes.
And
that you're getting
Carol was going to move, and so this whole showcase she could definitely use. And the other thing is about it is that those microphones on those podiums, I touched those too many times, and the sound guys were very upset that not only the stagehands came up to me and said, stop touching the microphone, but the producer, Roger Dobkowitz, he said, John, stop touching the phone, I'll have to take your hands off. And I stopped doing that. I kept my hands like this, and that was that. Now, during then, they also asked to give back the $500 that I won, because any money that you would win, the taxes that you would pay for the prizes would come out of that. So I ended up getting nearly $3,300. So that's that. So
the Gearbox 220 FB trailer. Have a home away from home and store your recreational vehicles all in one with this 25-foot
this is very interesting. I like the way it looks. I wish I could have won that, but again, I lost.
And your showcase filled with prizes
And
that will warn you you're getting too lazy can be yours if the price is right. Well, Carol, there it is.
And I asked yet another question. Bob asked if I could change my bid, and Bob wouldn't let me because I already saw this showcase. I really am not helping her, but
I beg your pardon?
I felt bad that I messed up my bid.
Can you say what? Can you change your mind? Not now. No. We have moved on.
And again, she won. So with that being said, help control the pet population. Have your pet spayed and neutered, just like how everything is done. Always will be done. And John Toomey saying, you are you and I am me. Together we can make a difference. Bye, everyone.